Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 13 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hi, everyone. This is Pam Davis, and welcome to episode 13 of the Well Done Life podcast. I am so excited to be here with you guys. It is 9:32 p.m. on Sunday, April 19th, and we are here together to navigate this thing called life and to share each other's stories on the hopes that we can build a community of people who realize that each of our experiences is what's going to help us grow and live our best lives together. So welcome to all my new and existing followers. I wanted to hop on this week and kind of talk to everybody, one, to see how you guys were doing. I've been in quarantine like you guys for probably so long. We don't even remember what it's like too much to go outside, except for to see lots of memes and talk about everything going on. But I really hope that everybody's doing okay and hanging in there. I hope to spread a little love and share some happiness tonight because I know it's getting kind of tricky out here with everything going on. So I hope that all your families are doing well. And to all the first responders out there, before we kind of delve into anything, I want to say thank you again for everything that you've been doing for us out here, taking care of us, making sure that we're okay, because we really, 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 really appreciate you. Even if sometimes we don't say it enough, we really do. To everybody who's a first responder in the hospitals and the police force, who's delivering mail, delivering food. If you're working, we appreciate you on all levels. So tonight, like I said, now that we've kind of spread a little love, that's a perfect way for us to kind of start talking about what I wanted to hop on and talk about today, because it's funny, it's kind of like a detour, but maybe not a detour from everything that's going on. But I wanted to talk about love. And actually, I wanted to talk about it from love in the age of the coronavirus and quarantine, because I've heard a lot of conversation around it lately. And I thought, it is something that's kind of changing too with everything going on in our new normal. So I wanted to talk about it because maybe you guys are just as dumbfounded as I am by some of the things that I'm seeing. But at the same time, are there some really valuable lessons that we could be learning right now while we're in this state? So let me kind of start where I found some stuff. I was, of course, doing what I normally love to do, which is sit on Instagram and look at a lot of different live chats and videos. And I noticed that actually when I was scrolling through my post, I came across this post from XO Nicole or Nicole Kane. Nicole Kane, it used to have this website called Nicole Bitchy, but which was more of like a gossip site, but she's kind of evolved her brand over the years into more of a lifestyle site. And she shares a lot of great content in regards to relationships, health, the gamut. And I noticed that one of the articles and posts that she had recently was in regards to people are really out here trying to date in the age of coronavirus. Now, maybe I'm a little old school, and I have to admit that is like the least thing on my mind right now. I guess for me, I'm too caught up with everything else going on and trying to manage work and juggle that I really am not so focused on love. And part of that is also probably just where my mindset is with it. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But I noticed that a lot of people are really utilizing dating apps in regards to trying to date right now and, having online virtual dates, which in actuality, it doesn't really sound too bad to me. I think that actually probably would be helpful because I feel like a lot of times we spend in relationships or situationships, we move a little too fast and we're not communicating the way that we used to. My heart kind of leads toward old school love. I miss the days where you would be on the phone with a dude for like 5 to 6 hours, getting to know each other, talk. And you know how you guys get tired and at the end, it's like, okay, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. And, that kind of courting love thing. I miss that. And I really think that that's the kind of situation that would work best for me. I've tried the online dating thing before the coronavirus and before it was like the only option. And I found that I always used to meet people who were insane. I don't know. Maybe it was just where I was at that particular point in time. And maybe insane is an extreme word. I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to say that they were insane, but they had some type of defect that was really, really crazy. And I will share, I'm going to share one or two stories. But one, if you're listening, I want you to take a moment to think about it. If you're single, you know, have you met anyone via a dating app? And it's funny because at work, I have met and worked with people who have had really great success through Match.com and some of the other sites. Like they met their spouse and they had children and they're happy. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Myself, I have met nutty. Like literally, I think the last online date I went on, I was writing more then because my blog, I was really focused on the blog. And the date was so bad that I wrote a blog post about it called Budweiser's and Bullshit because literally this dude was crazy. He literally was just, he really felt like in order for me to show my commitment toward him, I needed to buy him a 6-pack of beer after he bought me dinner. And it was nutty because like even through the course of the dinner with him, he was trying to like split a plate. He didn't want to buy money. He didn't want to pay for food. And I was like, well, I can buy my own food because no offense, I really don't mind sharing my food. I'll give you a little bit. I'll share and eat with you. You have some, I have some, but I don't really ever want to be in a situation where I'm sharing my plate of food. I like my food, just like I'm sure you like your food. But anywho, so literally the date ended with me having to buy him a 6-pack. And I bought him that 6-pack. Now, I know a lot of you probably are saying, girl, I wouldn't have bought him squat. I bought him that 6-pack because I wanted him to see, like, look, I don't want to owe you anything. You are missing out on a great woman because you need this 6-pack of beer because you have some emotional defect. Because he said that he had been on dates with other women, and because those other women didn't progress into other things, mainly sex or any type of relationship, he was not going to get used again. So he had to make sure that he walked away from something after a date. And I thought it was crazy because I'm like, one, and he picked his own pack of beer. He picked a Budweiser. I said, pick any pack of beer you want. Because I was just curious at that point to see where his mindset was. And then two, I'm super petty at times. So I said, well, let me go ahead and get this pack of beer so I can get rid of this jackass. So he literally picked up a pack of Budweiser. And I was like, really, dude? That's all you think you're worth? And no offense to anyone who drinks Budweiser. But no offense. If I'm picking a pack of beer, I'm picking like, can I get like some Sam Adams? Can I be a pack of Guinness or something? I'm going to pick the best beer that I enjoy, not a pack of Bud. But you know what? Hey, to each his own. It made him happy, whatever. And so afterwards, of course, he got his little 6-pack and went home. And mind you, he was driving like this really nice convertible Mustang. So he had money. He was just crazy. But he didn't understand why I never wanted to talk to him again. And literally, I think I spent the next couple of hours after that date explaining to this man why I was never going to talk to him again until I was like, look, stop calling me, and cussed him out, and then he moved on. But ultimately, again, it showed me that it was a defect. And then I had another conversation afterwards with somebody through the app, and he had been in jail a few times. He was supposedly falsely accused. Long story short, he was trying to start like a swingers website. Like, again, it was just like dating defects. And I, at that point in time, was like, look, I'm trying to preserve my mental health. I have my family with me. I have a job. I don't have time for this bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm going to just really speak my piece. So I was just like, I really think I just need to take a pause for the cause on this dating thing. And so I kind of backed out of it because it just seemed like most people wanted to communicate through the app versus trying to have genuine connections. because I really feel like you have to hear someone's voice. I have to look in your eye. Crazy jumps out in your eye and in your voice. Believe it or not, like it does. There's only going to be so many times that you can keep the wall up. And I just was like, if I can't kick it old school, then maybe I just need to take a pause for the cause until I get myself together. Because I know that picker wise, my picker before was definitely not on the level that my picker is now. I think that that's another thing. It's kind of like, how do you get to that point where you're willing to not date until you get your mindset together? Because you can't go out there and be putting out negative energy and expect something positive to come back. And I had to really think about that because I was really healing at that particular point in my caregiving journey. So, I was a couple of years in, but not enough years in. So I wanted to make sure I checked myself before I went back out in the dating pool. So I took a pause and got myself together emotionally, and I'm feeling good. My skin is moisturized. My head is clear. I now am attracting the love I feel like I deserve at this point. So I'm ready. So it's funny that we're now in the situation where it's like, okay, we're on a quarantine virus, so you can't really go and meet anybody, but you can meet them on the internet. And it's just like rough. Because I guess for me, it's like I feel like I'm stepping backwards, but maybe that I'm not. Because maybe it's a shift back to kind of like what I was really looking for in the first place. Good conversation, an opportunity to connect with someone, not getting so caught up in the physical where you lose sight of knowing this person's value and what they're bringing to the table. So I really am kind of excited in a way to see how it all shifts out now with everybody kind of going to this virtual love. Because it's an opportunity for everyone to really go back and get to know each other. I mean, of course, you can probably take it kind of crazy and freaky if you want to on the virtual chat. I don't really recommend that because remember, the cloud records everything. But at the same time, why wouldn't you want to just take that time to learn about somebody's interest? Take this time to really learn what this person's goals are, really dig in and have conversation. I've always felt like technology is a great thing for our society, but it really does kill communication and connection. And how do you form a love if it's not built on communication and connection and getting an opportunity to learn if you're equally yoked? A lot of people throw that yoked or couple goals words out so easily, but do you really understand what that means? And being able to really see love in action because you're connected, you have the same value sets, you have a vision and a goal for yourself. It doesn't matter all the time about how much money somebody's bringing into the table, because I've dated a couple of wealthy dudes and who have good money, but they have very poor characteristics for long-term relationships. And after a while, you have to really think about the fact that you're bringing probably so much to the table yourself as a woman or as a man. Why would you allow your time to be wasted by someone that is only going to look good on the outside and doesn't bring anything to the table on the inside? And the fact that you never really took the time to get to know that person didn't give you the opportunity to cut that thing off before it got too crazy. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out here who are in some really tough situations with a man or a woman because they may have jumped in a little too quickly. So I just kind of find it fascinating that now all of a sudden we're going back to courting, but courting is on the internet. So I was just kind of curious what everyone is thinking about it. And then I saw a couple of posts about how they were saying now with everything going on too, it's also testing some relationships. A couple of people were saying there's some statistics that they feel like a lot of people after the quarantine are going to come out of here divorced, which I was like, wow. And I could kind of see that because you're in such close quarters with someone all the time. And it's such a stressful situation. If you're not actively working on your communication or in that partnership, it's just going to get to a point where at some point in time you're going to get on each other's nerves and you guys are going to bicker. So I can imagine that's very stressful for a relationship. And then unfortunately, you also hear about the rise of domestic violence because, again, you're in a pressure filled situation. And a lot of times it's people don't know how to handle that. So it leads to violence in the home. And I was like, wow, that's so sad. It's either this is an opportunity for us to build relationships on a better foundation than maybe what we were before, or it's an opportunity where relationships are going to fall apart. And based upon either violence or lack of communication, it just feels like this is an opportunity for us to kind of reset how we connect with each other on that love level. So I'm very curious to see how it's all going to shake out. And I'm praying for everybody who's in a relationship, that maybe this is a time for you to connect closer because of the fact that this is a life-threatening situation. This isn't like something that's minor. We're not arguing over finances. We're talking about decisions that can impact lives. So I would assume that when you're in a relationship with someone or in a marriage with someone, this partnership, those are times where you can connect and you can build. We're always so go, go, go. And this is just an opportunity to really get down to love and get back to it. Like I mentioned, I'm kind of old school. And so with that, you have to make love to my mind before you could ever get any close to the cookies. So now that is just so important to me. So it is very curious to me to see how it would be. Like I said, it's kind of not what I'm looking for. I don't want to look for love anymore. I feel like I had to fix myself and be open and make sure I knew my worth and value so that I could attract the right person. And I finally feel like I'm at that point. So I don't really feel like I need to look for it. I prayed about it. I'm trying to get one. I don't know if I don't have a Russell Wilson kind of prayer, but I had a good prayer and I made sure I was consistent to God about it. But at the same time, I made sure that I'm fixing myself. And that's why I think it's really good to encourage everyone to take this opportunity to fix those things that are inside of ourselves that would be preventing us from living our best life or being the best partners to other people. Because again, you can't expect great things to come into you if you're not putting them out. So you have to fix that amongst yourself. But at the same time, looking at this quarantine time, this as an opportunity, if you do meet someone, to connect with them on a real level and to take your time and don't feel pressured and rushed, because there's nothing to feel pressured and rushed about. You can't get together. You just can only talk to each other over the internet. So share your passions, your dreams, your goals, and build a love that's going to last. Maybe this is the return of strong relationships, strong marriages. Maybe this is the return of the real. Again, like I always say, there's something to be learned out of what we're going through right now. So it's going to be really curious to see how it all shapes up for the long term. But I really wanted to, kind of talk to you guys about it because it's just like this whole thing is affecting every area of our lives. And even now hearing about how it's, changing the way that people love or, it's amazing to me. So just something to think about as we're going forward. Hopefully I gave you guys a couple of laughs. I would totally put the links to my Budweiser's and bullshit post in the show notes, but unfortunately my website is down at the moment. I have to go yell at GoDaddy tomorrow about it because they changed the server. So hopefully I can get it up. If it comes back up in the next week, I will definitely put it back up so that you can have it. But yes, please know I did. And if you want to know about it, I'll be more than happy to tell you all about that story. Of course, no names will be mentioned to spare the guilty. But don't ultimately go out here and just keep doing the same things. Take this as that time, if you're single or if you're married or in a relationship, to try to be a little different, communicate more, try to build your partnership up, no matter what level you're in. I mean, obviously I can't give advice on love because I've just not always been the best and I'm single. But if I've learned anything from growing up and from experiences, reciprocity is real, partnership is key, friendship is as important, and being built on a strong, solid foundation of equally yoked and balanced love is going to be what makes it last a lifetime. There's always going to be things that come up in relationships. I'm not out here advocating for personal perfect relationships because nobody has that. But at the same time, don't settle for less because you think that that's all that you can get. You're not giving yourself enough credit. You deserve the best. You know what you bring to the table on both sides of it. So make sure that you're getting somebody who's able to do that. Don't have unrealistic expectations of somebody else if you can't have realistic expectations of yourself. Fix yourself. Don't expect someone to carry your load. Be the best person that you can be. That's not putting in work. That's just putting in work to make sure. That's not putting in work per se. That's just making you better. Why wouldn't you want to make yourself better? So that's starting to kind of sound a little rambly, but hopefully the message rang true. Just live and be your best selves. Love, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. That's my favorite line, but it's the truth. It's all about love. You can't spread love if you don't love yourself. So take this time to love yourselves. And please share any feedback and tips that you have about love or your stories. I would love to hear them. I learn from everyone's experiences one way or the other. So just a little quick detour, hopefully kind of philosophical, but at least a little bit of funny. And if you like this podcast or have any feedback about it, please share because I'm really trying to get better. I hope my sound quality was better today. I hope I am giving you concise information that's making you think and giving value. So please share your feedback, your scores, your ratings on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, on Spotify, anywhere where podcasts are found so that I know what I'm doing right and what I might need to get better at in. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. And definitely don't hesitate to connect with me. My email is thewelldonelife@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Twitter at I am Pamela L. Davis, or you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Pamela Davis. So please don't hesitate because I would love to talk to you guys. And I definitely will be back next week. Next week is recap week number 14. So if you have listened before, or again, you're new, every 7th episode, I recap those episodes before because I really believe in kind of setting the tone as we go forward and kind of giving an opportunity to catch up on what may be missed. Hopefully I spark you to maybe check out something that you didn't hear before. Or if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, again, please don't hesitate to send me a note. Let me know what's going on. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope it's filled with love. Love yourselves, love each other, and have an awesome one.